I wish I could freestyle rap.
I mean,
I feel like I
in
would
the
be
list of skills I desire, it's not.
No,
It's not top 5, but it'd be a
we're
cool.
talking like right now in this
Yeah.
moment.
It'd be a
In
cool
this
addition.
moment, yeah, I think it would be cool. You know, people can kind of gather around you if they like your shit. They kind of hype you up. If they don't say anything.
But even if we were like dropping hot fire because we're heavy white guys, do you think we would people would pay attention to us?
This is going to be controversial. I think because we're white guys and we look the way we look, if we sounded like Eminem, if we would be like what? He's walking away. We would be like 250,000 views on or likes on.
Because we were like it's unique.
No one. It's like Lil Dicky. No one expects him to sound like that.
I don't like Lil Dicky.
Yeah, I know.
He
Yeah,
stole the album.
Yeah.
I like Jelly Roll though.
Yes.
I do like myself a nice Jelly Roll.
But yeah, I think people would be like, "Holy crap!" So
we should try doing it.
I think it's a skill that you're born with.
I can I'm good. I can rhyme a lot like in writing. Like I could, if you give me like 10 minutes, I can think of a rap that it might not like make a lot of sense. Like it might not be like super deep, but it'll have nice rhymes to it.
I just don't know if I have the flow. I don't think I can do the flow.
I mean, I think Eminem just did
like
what he was able to do, and still nobody. The weird thing is like, I don't even know of any people who try to emulate Eminem. Like, there's nobody raps like Eminem.
Because I think when Eminem came out, how big he was, I'm sure how much shit he got for like, oh, you're trying to sound black or act like whatever crap he got. I think anyone who was white coming into hip hop wanted to sound nothing like him because they didn't want to be compared to him. Yeah. So I think that's different. I think you see a lot of white rappers, they come in and then they end up venturing off to other genres. But that's,
like Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, Post Malone. I like Post Malone a lot, but everyone says he's a culture vulture, all this other stuff.
A lot of people, listen, there has been, and I guess you could tie it to politics too, in the past like 2 years, after Biden won, and this is not a political stance, but after he won, like after 2 years, when people, like the country just wasn't in a great place, whether it was due to him or not, that's up to you to decide. But like people were even more angry with each other. There was more division. The economy started going down. Like the kind of post-COVID stuff really started hitting hard. And that's when I think you saw almost this change back to not like early 2000s, like America patriotism, but definitely a swing more in that direction. It's interesting that no one's afraid anymore to be a Donald Trump supporter. Whereas in 2016 and even in 2020, while he was president, like, dude, even in this office, if you blatantly said like, yeah, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump, like people looked at you weird, or like somebody would say something. Yeah.
I think it's
or like, oh, you were going to do that. Like
it was split now, or maybe it leans more.
Oh, I mean, more
left than.
Yeah, I never talk about who.
Yeah, well,
who
I try not to because I know people.
But like
just
other people have said that they love Donald Trump at lunch, and like no one says anything. Like it's not weird anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I think somebody like, Shane Gillis helped like breach that by being like, I'm not super conservative, but like, you got to vote for just making it more of a joke. Like you got to vote for the bros. You know what I mean?
Like him making fun of him too. I think that helps it and all that.
Because he made fun of him, but never like, it was never like a deep make fun. Like,
and it wasn't even like that with Biden too. He made, he did a bit where this was before Donald Trump got shot, about if the president got assassinated, he would have made a weird noise, and like you could, Biden might be the first president you can go up and stab, assassinate with a knife because he's so slow, But those are the type of comics I like, that you can kind of make fun of.
Yeah.
Everything.
He's probably super upset today, Shane Gillis.
Oh yeah. He was funny.
He was tweeting. I just saw the score.
He was tweeting the game last night. He's like, because I think Matt Rife and Tony Hinchcliffe like made an Instagram video of like, this is for Shane Gillis. 28-7, your boys are down. So he tweeted out, he's like, congratulations to Tony Hinchcliffe and Matt Rife only on OSU winning. I'm sure he's upset because Notre Dame, this was a really good year for them.
He literally said he would rather have Notre Dame college football championship than Eagles Super.
Yes.
He's like, if they won a college world championship, I would have an Eagles drought for like a decade. He's like, I would easily trade it away. Because I feel like it's so much harder to win a college championship.
Yeah, and
than
I
a
don't
Super
know.
Bowl.
I guess he's a big Philly fan in general because he's from the area. But yeah, Notre Dame is harder because Notre Dame was not expecting to really be in this position, in my opinion. Especially after they lost to Northern Illinois.
Like
I was trying to explain it to Jess yesterday, like how if you need to win a championship, you only can afford to lose one game.
Yeah.
You can't afford to lose 2 or 3. Ohio State came into the game with 2 losses, which is kind of unheard of against Michigan and Oregon. But then they ran the table. But it was a pretty good game. I really like college football.
I just find it funny. Like I would like to get Nick Saban in a room. Like I know that Shane Gillis had the joke with him the other week, but like, get him in a room and be like, so you do realize, like, here's how the SEC has played the past 10 years. You realize, like, the first full year of, like, transfer portal, or, like, sorry, the second full year, it's 2 years in a row of, like, transfer portals and NIL, the SEC is nowhere to be found in the college championship.
Which is
like,
insane.
Why do you think that is?
That's crazy.
Like, you're gonna tell me that you guys weren't doing shady shit when you shouldn't have been doing it? You're gonna sit there, what did he call him, Alabama Jones?
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. Just admit that you guys were.
I don't know how they kept it under wraps because that USC team with Reggie Bush, they got caught, investigated. Reggie Bush lost everything at the time. Then they reinstated it when the NIL became.
Dude, I think it's all connections with like.
I wonder how much the mob's involved, honestly.
Well, I think it's all connections with like different businesses where it's like, we can't pay you, but like, you know, every Friday night you should take your family to this restaurant, and then they'll eat for free at that restaurant. Or like, oh, you guys are looking to go like lease a new car? Go to this dealership.
Yep.
And like they still pay for it, but they get like a mega discount because this dealership.
Was it Shane Gillis saying like how Nick Saban owns like 7 or 8 dealerships around the University of Alabama, or like they own that? So yeah, that's a little.
Yeah. I think it's all those kind of connections. Like, oh, you need a new suit? Go to this suit guy, and the suit is like $50 when normally it's like $1,000. But then I think they do these things where they're not getting paid, and they're paying for items, but they're paying and there's no like paper trail of it. Yeah, you know, it could look like, oh, he just got a good discount.
On the flip side, which is weird, is like former running back. I think he's he's a part of Barstool now. Arian Foster. He came out. He was on Joe Rogan when he was still playing, I believe. And he was like, you know, we got in trouble because I just had a game of my life, 230 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. I come back to my dorm room and there's nothing to eat. So my coach buys us Taco Bell, and they got in trouble for that. Even like, I didn't know that was a thing. Like you couldn't even, like if I was this college roommate's, I guess a coach can't buy another player anything. Like let's say if I was Arian Foster's roommate, I could buy him lunch. But I think like the coaches buying food for the team went against certain things. But don't they provide
food? Like doesn't the facility provide food?
The cafeteria and I'm sure these teams get fed during that. But he was just using it as an example of just like I can't, if they buy me lunch or they buy me something from somewhere else, a coach, that's a violation. And he's like, that's bullshit. Like I just poured my heart and sweat out. Like
I think there should never have been any problem with athletes getting paid, with the exception of 2 things. A, taking bribes to like take a dive. Obviously you can't do that in anything.
Yeah.
And B, if we start, which we might start, if we really start seeing it affect how hard these guys are working. Because you got to remember, I mean, look how many people before NIL was a thing. Look how many players busted their ass in college, get drafted, make their $3 million signing bonus, and then immediately shit the bed because they don't care anymore. Oh, I made my quick bag, and now they're what? Maybe now they own like, you know, a Taco Bell or 2, but they're out of the whatever situation they were before that, and like hey, I made my $3 million. I'm not gonna. I don't care. Then they futz around and that's now gonna happen at the college level.
Yeah,
and you're already seeing it the past few years of guys not playing in bowl games. 5 years ago, that was unheard of, not playing in a bowl game.
Yes and no. Yeah. Yes and no. Because if you were a top 5 pick, depending on who you were, like I remember Leonard Fournette, I think he didn't, or Adrian Peterson. No, Leonard Fournette didn't play in his bowl game because he didn't want to risk getting hurt because he was going to be a top 5 pick. which I think he was for the Jaguars. That I kind of understand. But even they interviewed Travis Hunter earlier this year or later in 2024. And the guy's like, "Are you playing in the bowl game?" And Travis like, "Nah, not like messing with him." He's like, "No, Coach Sanders said we have to play, so we're gonna play."
Yeah.
You know, and
even if you play for the first half.
That's not gonna. At that point, like during bowl games, I don't think things. I think it could only elevate your stock in the NFL draft. You know, if you're like the quarterback at Penn State, Drew Allegar, I think his name is, or Drew Allar, I forgot. They were saying, "Oh, he might sneak in at number 3 to the Giants." But he didn't have that good of a game. So then the narrative was, well, is he going to come back to Penn State next year? So there's all, the media drives all of that. And I do think, you have, if you have a tough season or a really good season, you're top 3. But if you start falling off, it could always be like now. Like I thought the quarterback for Texas was a senior. But apparently he is eligible for the transfer portal, which he needs to go to because you have Arch Manning in the
dying
wing.
To play.
Yeah. But the quarterback for Georgia is an interesting one, Carson Beck. I thought everyone said when they were mentioning quarterbacks coming out of the draft, it was him, Shador, Cam Ward, and someone else. But now he just transferred to University of Miami, and he's getting paid $4 million to play there.
Do you think the Giants should take Shador, or do you think they should wait a year and try to get Archie? I think Archie's going to be really good, man.
So I know that they're desperate to find a quarterback. For Giants fans, I'm sure this is nothing you want to hear at all.
You can't go get Kirk Cousins for a year?
I was going to say, Kirk Cousins just got signed by the Falcons on that ridiculous-ass contract. Him, Justin Fields, try to aim for a free agent running back since you let Saquon go. You let him walk. And then, I mean, if you really want to get Arch Manning, because he's a freak athlete, he's like 6'5", his arm is stronger than, I think, Peyton's. Like, it's just insane. But if you're really, I'm afraid of Shador Sanders for so many reasons.
The level of competition he was playing, he was not he wasn't in the SEC. He wasn't in he was playing, and like every time they played a ranked team, they lost. He still did okay in the games. But I think if this was even a slightly tougher QB class, I think he's not a top 5.
I think he's going to drop to 6 and go to Vegas. I think that's the best course of action for him because Tom Brady's there. Cam Ward looks good, but you have these, the top 3 teams drafting: Tennessee, Cleveland, and the Giants. Tennessee, to me, is the most promising if you're going to want to be a quarterback. Like, I think that's the most promising because that division is very up and down. You have the Texans, Jaguars, Titans, and I forgot the 4th team. But that's a very wishy-washy division. Cleveland, they don't know how to take care of a quarterback. Rookie quarterback. Even Deshaun Watson, they're haunted. They are just a haunted franchise. Like you had a chance to keep Baker Mayfield. You released him or traded him, and he's balling out in Tampa. You traded away the farm for Deshaun Watson, which was C.J. Stroud. And look at that situation now.
But sometimes these things work out. How does Stroud do? He gets drafted by the Browns.
Oh, I don't think he does as well. Much like Jaden Daniels now, last year, C.J. Stroud came into a situation that was built for him to succeed. And then they just added pieces this year, and they started off hot, and it didn't work out.
Well, they got a lot of injuries.
Stephon Diggs. Mixon was on and off all year.
And then Tank Dell was leg crushed
his best
again.
friend. Yeah, his best C.J. Stroud's best friend's leg got demolished.
Yeah,
but I mean, I don't know what the Giants do. I say get Justin Fields.
The Jets, I think, are even in a weirder spot where it's like you got to get rid of Rodgers. Like, you're done. Like, even though I will say he didn't have a terrible year, but he has just proved, and I liked Aaron Rodgers up until like kind of this year. You've just proved too toxic to that locker room, that organization. You tried to influence too many things, and none of it worked out. And I think that even in the beginning of this season, I think they actually would have had a snowball's chance of being a playoff team if he didn't make them keep Nathaniel Hackett. I think Nathaniel Hackett is a terrible offensive coordinator. I think he was a worse head coach, but I do not think he's a good offensive
And
coordinator.
then he lost his offensive coordinating rights, correct? Like
Yeah.
someone else was calling plays during the middle of the season.
He was
It's
not, and I think all that has to do from Rodgers,
I think
But-
I think the mentality of the defense as well was like, oh, we have Rodgers coming back, so now we don't have to go out there and like survive every game like it's our last. And they did better with Zach Wilson than they did this season, where
well, also
apparently-
once they got rid of Saleh,
well, yeah,
their defense took a nosedive.
Yeah. So
Because again, Rodgers did not have a bad year. He had like 25 touchdowns and like 13 interceptions.
yeah, he didn't have a bad.
Like he averaged like 280 yards a game. He had like a average or better than average like NFL QB season, but it was his mentality that was affecting everybody else. Like
I have no
he
idea
should
who
have
the Jets. The Jets and Giants are kind of in. I don't know, man. They're up Schitt's Creek without a paddle for both of them.
I think the Jets are 3 pieces away from a team because I think they have still 1 year with a bunch of these young guys. I think they need a new head coach, a new offensive coordinator, and a quarterback. It would be cool for them to draft a quarterback, have him be under. Tell Rodgers, like, we'll keep you for another year. We're not fucking listening to a thing you're saying. We're just not going to listen to you. You're just a quarterback. You don't like it, you can leave. We'll find somebody else. But, like, you're just going to be the quarterback. We're going to pay you a ton of money. Just sit there and be quarterback. We're going to get rid of Hackett. We're going to bring... Dude, go get fucking BME. Where is he now?
I think he's jobless.
Yeah.
I think he got...
I know he
or
got
he's either at UCLA or he got
I know
fired
he's, like,
from
apparently
UCLA.
difficult to work with, but, like, he's a fucking G wherever he goes. Get him. Tell Rodgers to shut up. Draft maybe a quarterback that's, like... Not Shador Sanders, but somebody who was like very good, but like just didn't have to, and put him under Rodgers for a year.
Yeah,
because look at what Jordan Love, and he wasn't even very nice to Jordan Love.
No,
but I think
just
Jordan
so
Love.
Funny.
But I think the problem is that these teams never take advantage of having like kind of a statesman. And look at the ones who did. Now, occasionally you get a rookie who balls out. You get a Jaden Daniels. You get a Joe Burrows. You get a C.J. Stroud. But then the really elite ones. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. These guys were on the bench 2 or 3 seasons under very good like what's his name wasn't the one that Brady replaced. What's his name?
Bledsoe.
He was no slouch.
No, he was
a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Like he was good enough.
I think Brady sat maybe 1 year. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
If you guys in the comments want to say something, but I
and also look at
but he came in unexpected.
Yeah.
Because Bledsoe got hurt. Rodgers, Mahomes, they got drafted, and they're 2 different stories. Alex Smith took Patrick under his wing. Favre was like, I don't care about
Favre
this
did the
rookie.
same thing that Rodgers did to Love.
Which is funny. That's so funny to me.
Well, listen, you don't need to actually teach me, but being in practice with you every day, watching you on the sidelines every game, you're just going to learn stuff.
Yeah. In the quarterback room, shit like that. So no, it'll be interesting to see what they do if depending on who the Jets hire, and then the next step is Rodgers come back. If Rodgers comes back, all right, you're going to have to draft a quarterback or sign a young quarterback to play backup, and just learn, because I don't think Rodgers comes. I think Rodgers, I could see Rodgers being like, this is my last year, so I'm going to do like a farewell tour type thing. I could see LeBron doing that, like Kobe did it midway through. But yeah, I don't know, man. The Giants, I don't know. They're all
Giants
they're
are a bigger
mess man.
because besides that one defender, I can't remember his name, and Malik Neighbors, they have like nobody.
Yeah, Lawrence and Neighbors.
Yeah,
it's just it's a I don't know.
I like Dayball. I do. I think the GM is a joke, and I think keeping the GM. I think that was a mistake by the Mars. Like I think you need to get rid of that guy.
You said that earlier, and I was kind of ready to like, well, what did he do? But then you look at it, and you're like, he didn't sign Saquon.
He signed Jones.
He signed Jones.
Kept Jones.
Kept Jones until the middle of the season. He signed Drew Lock and then ended up starting Tommy DeVito. It's just like, why did you? So you signed Drew Lock for $4 million, didn't play him right away. That $4 million could have gone to Saquon. Saquon would have stuck out. And it was well known that Daniel Jones was better on the field when he had Saquon.
Yeah.
Nothing against the running backs or the other people they had, on the field this year. But you had that security blanket behind you who can run for 150 to 200 yards. It's going to open up the game for you. And
I feel like they're probably the two biggest teams right now, except maybe Vegas, with no immediate quarterback. Like, I don't know who's like right now. If you had to tell me who's going to start for the Jets and the Giants next year at quarterback, I would tell you I have no idea.
Some people think it's still going to be Drew Lock because they're not going to draft a quarterback. Everyone's at every.
Well, here's the thing: always... you draft a quarterback, even if it's Sanders, and guess what? You don't have to pay him a ton because it's a rookie contract. If he doesn't work out and your season is terrible, well, guess what? You have another first-round pick next year. You get another quarterback. If he works out enough where you're not at the bottom of the barrel, well, then you chose the correct quarterback. You know what I mean? I think you need some... Dude, even if it's not Shador, because Shador just comes with a lot of baggage, like a lot of press and whatever.
His dad.
Yeah.
Is his dad going to want to force
somebody
himself
and just
into...
be like, hey, dude, you were good at fucking Oregon. Like, here. Like, it's better than what we right now we have nothing. So, like, we might as well give it to this kid. And if our season is terrible, we know that the next quarterback class is going to be even better.
Yeah.
And we'll have a top 3 pick for that.
As much as I want Travis Hunter to be on the Giants, because I think he's a freak athlete, and if he plays both sides of the ball, who's going to throw him the ball? Like, I would love to have Hunter on one side,
Malik
Neighbors on the other side. Who's going to throw them the ball? That's my concern. If your plan is to get Hunter, Neighbors, sign a third wide receiver who's either a little bit older or kind of has worn out their welcome elsewhere, and you bring in a Justin Fields, a Kirk Cousin, hell, I'll take Russell Wilson. Then I'm like, all right, you have an idea. You take Russell Wilson, and then maybe you draft a quarterback in the second round to learn under Russell Wilson. Because Russell Wilson, there's just been this narrative since he's been in Denver is that because Sean Payton didn't like him, right? But that guy can play. That guy won a Super Bowl. That guy has been to the promised land twice, he won it once, and he's been to the Super Bowl twice. Bring someone in there who's going to command the locker room. I felt like Daniel Jones was like me. Like it'd be like Chris Arangio playing quarterback. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing out there. Like, what's going on? Like, you
guys,
need
I went to Duke or UNC. Like, I shouldn't be here. I went to Duke. Like, I'm a white guy from Duke. I should not be
like
the franchise quarterback.
I don't know. Everyone says he's.
I'm interested with Justin Fields, getting him a top tier quarterback guy like Daboll, because like look what Daboll did his last couple of years with really taking Josh Allen under his wing and really forming him to the Allen we know today. Who knows what? Because like the few games Fields played for the Steelers this year, he did really well.
They went 4-2.
Yeah, I'm like, why don't you? I would be interested in them taking Hunter, and then trading off or paying for Fields and seeing
that.
Listen,
work out?
guy, we're going to teach you how to be a pocket passer and run around a little bit. You have 2 elite wide receivers.
Yeah.
And then, but maybe because you have Neighbors, you don't need to give Hunter as many reps on offense, just like on bigger plays.
Yeah.
Just to create another
still
threat.
Utilize him on offense.
But then you definitely utilize him on defense, and now you're strengthening your defense. Mm-hmm. I think that's the plan. I'm going to call Daboll.
Might sound crazy, but I mean,
could be the move.
Because Justin Fields leaves Chicago, comes to Pittsburgh. Yes, he was the backup, but when he started, he was 4-2. So then you bring Caleb Williams into Chicago, and you build that offense around him. And I think they lost like their last 11 games, right? Like that's another franchise that's kind of a dumpster fire too. So it wasn't. Now Fields didn't necessarily look good in his time in Chicago, but I think he's more
Chicago and Cleveland. You got to give these guys chances outside of those organizations. Like if they're terrible there, you got to give them chances outside of those organizations.
That's why I'm interested to see
how poorly they're run.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm interested to see Daniel Jones' future. Is he going to be now a career backup?
Yeah.
Is he going to have a resurgence? Like there's just so many questions going into the offseason. What does Minnesota do with Sam Darnold? Is Sam Darnold worthy of a starting spot? Because people are saying bring him back to the Jets. But look at Minnesota. Like, look at what they drew up for him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think Darnold, you give another chance. I think if you get somebody who gets you into a playoff run like that, like, listen, plenty of elite quarterbacks went home.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson just got sent home. You know what I mean? Plenty of elite guys don't make it through the playoffs every year. So considering this is your first year with Darnold, maybe give the guy another year, considering you probably also got him cheap.
Yeah, especially if they're a rookie quarterback they drafted, if he's ready to go.
Yeah.
You don't know.
So we'll see how that. I mean, football, it's just this is a weird year. I mean, I really thought I knew what was going on in my draft. I got like Kale, what's his name? Who's DJ Moore, and then I'm like, this new wide receiver for the Chiefs. But like the Chiefs changed their entire offense. They didn't score more than 30 points all year, and they went, what was it, 15-2?
Yeah, 15-1.
15-1. How is it? Oh, because they have a bye week. No, there's 17 games, right?
Oh, so 16-1. Sorry.
16-1.
No. Totally my fault. I forgot they got blown out the last week of the season. So yeah, they were 15-2.
Yeah, and like never threw to Xavier. Like hardly ever threw to Xavier. Like I don't think he had any 300-yard game.
Pacheco was out.
My read of the year was just way off.
Yeah, you're not the only one. I mean, I drafted McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And that really bit me in the ass. In our work league, my other league, I drafted him. I was able to bounce back, but yeah, I just couldn't never get it. I couldn't stick with a quarterback. There was times I'd have Love starting. He'd play like shit. Herbert would play great. I'd swap him. Then like Herbert had an off week and Love did great. I just couldn't get a flow of it.
I think next year I'm going solidly for like Jalen Hurts again. He was great for me last year. Josh Allen, Lamar, CJ Stroud.
Go get them early, man. A lot of us don't.
I was the first one to get a quarterback in our draft when I picked up Mahomes, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's actually like a good move." Turned out it wasn't, but like, listen, 5th round, I'm getting a quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm getting my 2 main wide receivers and my 2 main running backs, and then I'm grabbing a quarterback.
Yep.
Because that guy is only not playing one game, and if he's even slightly above average, that's a guaranteed 8. What wide receiver besides what's his name? The cheetah.
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill. Besides Tyreek Hill, like what wide receiver is getting you like a guaranteed 20 points a game? Like guaranteed every week 20 points. Even Justin Jefferson ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Like no one is.
Jamar Chase this year, but
Chase.
Not usually.
Oh yeah, Burrow's another one.
Yeah,
but
Burrow,
a quarterback, like a good quarterback will get you between 18 and 22 points a game.
Yeah.
So it's an important thing to have. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. But yeah, this year was weird.
Yeah. By the way, I'm smoking a Crux. You didn't do a single cigar talk this episode.
Well, in our defense, like our last 6 or 7 episodes have been very like
stuff.
Top 25, honorable mention, you know, so
some aficionados.
Yeah, this was a little break, not break from cigars, but
we'll talk about the consensus next week.
Yes, we will.
We'll go over that. But no, I went with the Crux Bull and Bear. It's delicious, actually, made by Placencia, Habano wrapper. Bull and Bear. It sounds like a British pub.
It does. It does.
We're making it.
Let's do
Trademark that name. And what do you have? Oh, you have an old Nat Sherman.
Yeah, I have a Nat Sherman a Metropolitan Host Maduro. And
so that's the same.
This is taking my palate on a wild ride right now.
That's the same as the Ferio Tego Metropolitan Host.
Yeah,
he just changed.
Yeah, we found an old bag of Nat Sherman branded cigars.
I mean, those things are at least 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's probably not gotten a little
right off the bat. The sweet tip, and then it's a spice bomb in this part of the cigar. So nice way to end the day.
Sherman was good stuff, man. But so is Ferio Tego. So make sure to check it out. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, it's appreciated. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, keep it lit.